Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. It's time for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. This is Lena Gersa. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. And today I am continuing Man Card Month with the Hey Sports Fan Suite from the Stampin' Up! January to June mini catalog. Now I know, it's the mini catalog which ends in about a month and I'm finally just now getting to this suite. But let me tell you, it's worth the wait. It's an awesome suite, fantastic for the sports fan in your life. However, great for anybody because it's got so many different possibilities. This suite is perfect for Father's Day, happy birthday, celebrating somebody's awesomeness or an accomplishment of some kind. So many things you can do with it. So I'm going to show you the suite. I'm going to show you all the awesome products that are included, and then we're going to make 3 fun, colorful cards. One of the nice things I love about this suite is that it's colorful. So often man cards are kind of dull, neutral tones, stay away from anything too bright. And I love color, as you probably know. If you've watched me for any length of time, you know I'm a big fan of color. So this suite made me happy because I could actually play with some fun, bright colors once again. So let me pull up my video here on my iPad so I can see who is joining me. Who is here? All right, we've got Laura and Doris. Krista, hello, hello. Thanks for sharing, Doris. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Deb. All right, so I hope you're ready for some man cards today. But again, they're not just man cards. I know I'm calling them man cards, but they could be for anyone. And this is a great suite for teen boys, let me just add. If you are struggling, if you have teen boys in your life and you struggle with ideas for making cards for them, this is a great suite to check out. So let me flip the camera. I'm going to stop yapping and we're going to get to some stamping. Here we go. All right, that looks pretty good. I even got it almost centered today for a change. There we go. Let's get the lamp out of the way. That looks pretty good. All right. Oh, we've got 2 Judys, Judy and Judy. Hi, Judy and Judy. I hope you both are well. All right, so we are, as I said, all about the Hey Sports Fan Suite. You get this entire suite. It's under $100. I think it's $92 in the mini catalog here in Canada, which is a pretty great deal given all the fantastic product you get. So let me show you the suite real quick, and then we're going to do some stamping. So, of course, we start with a fantastic bundle. I've kind of got this upset. Well, it doesn't really matter. So we've got our stamp set, which is mostly sentiments and a couple of pennant and ticket images, but they're designed to work beautifully with the dies. So I love these dies, not just for sports themed projects, but these work for anything. So this pennant is awesome. There's a large one and a small one. We've got this large ticket label. We've got sort of a tear-off ticket. We've got a smaller ticket, and then we have a little string of tickets. So many possibilities for fun ideas to use as labels on your projects, not just for sports themed ones. So that's your bundle. Set that aside. And then, of course, we have fabulous DSP. Look at this color. So happy to see color for masculine cards. So we have lots of baseball themed patterns. So we've got the ball diamond and bats and balls. This one is totally not baseball. It could be just about anything. It's evening evergreen and vanilla polka dots. We've got awesome vintage baseball gear. We've got banners and pennants. These ones actually work with the die. And then this sheet of various tickets works with the dies as well. You can cut this entire sheet out with the dies. Now, of course, when we flip them over, we get more fabulous patterns. Look at that gorgeous blue wood grain. I love this pattern. I would take a whole pack of that pattern. I love it. This one is meant to simulate baseball stitching, but can be used for anything once again. An awesome red and white stripe. How fabulous is this sunburst image? I think I'm actually thinking I want to do a scrapbook page from my son's Little League days. Some awesome stars, and we've got some pinstripes. So as always, Stampin' Up's reverse side of this pack is super versatile and not just themed for sports. So that is the DSP. And then, of course, we have fabulous embellishments. We've got the resin stars in 4 colors, 2 sizes in each color. And then we have the awesome, what's it called? Fan Baker's Twine. So we have Evening Evergreen, Night of Navy, and a striped Poppy Parade and white. So awesome embellishments. Again, not just to go with this suite, but with any projects. So let's get this stuff out of the way and we're gonna get to it. So our first card is one I posted today. This one is super easy. It's really just 3 pennants and a little bit of stamping, but I'm going to show you how to do it. Oh, you're freezing up, Debbie. I'm sorry about that. Hi, Tracy. You're back from vacation. I hope you had a good one. All right, let's get some. I'm going to not lose all my little stars here. This was actually a project from a card buffet that I offered a couple months ago, and I've held on to one of the kits because I knew that I was going to be featuring this suite, and I thought, well, why don't I just recycle one of the kits? So I've got all the little bits cut out and everything already, so it's going to be quick. All right, so to start, I have my 3 pennants here. These 2 are just cut from Poppy Parade cardstock. This one is cut from the DSP, the pinstripe pattern. I've stamped the banner image twice in the Night of Navy, and then we're going to stamp some words. So I'm going to bring in my Night of Navy ink pad and my You're Amazing stamp. Now, believe it or not, I'm only using Night of Navy ink today. That's the only ink color. I don't think I've ever had a video where I've only used one shade of ink. I can't think of any time where I've ever done that. But hey, there's a first time for everything, right? All right, so then I have my second banner here, and on this one, I'm going to stamp my Hooray image or sentiment, again in the navy. So we're going to just center that on there and stamp away. Okay, I love the way the navy looks against the Poppy Parade. Such an awesome shade. All right, that's really all our stamping. Now for this banner, we're not going to leave it plain. We're actually going to decorate it a little bit. So this is just the plain banner that I've cut from Poppy Parade cardstock. And then this one, I've stamped that same banner image on some of that blue wood grain DSP pattern. So what I'm going to do to get this sort of layered look, I'm going to take and cut along the inside of my banner. So I'm just kind of following the shape. I'm cutting along the inside edge of that stamped image. And that's going to allow me a little bit of a border when I go to glue this down. So we're just going to trim that off. So you can do this with cardstock, you can do it with DSP. It's a great way to create a layer without having to have a second layering die. So that is going to glue right on there, just like that. Okay, so we'll add a little bit of liquid glue. Hi, Linda. Oh, you didn't miss too much, just me yapping as usual. So here we go. We'll pop this on right about there. Okay, and that gives us our layer. And then I have this fun die cut. So this is also in the die set. Super fun and cute. Now I'm actually going to use a little bit of seal on here. Oopsie. To stick this down. So I'm going to stick my number 1 down, and then because I've used the seal, I can pop these in and they'll stick. Aren't I smart? I'm so smart. No, I'm really not. I'm just lazy. That's what it is. I want to put glue on these little bitty things. So we'll pop this guy out of there. Don't need to see that. And then we're going to pop this right in there. Just like that. Okay. And there is our third banner. So now it's just a matter of assembly, not too difficult at all. So to start, I have this Sahara Sand cardstock panel. It's 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and I've embossed it using the timber embossing folder. I love that wood grain folder. I'm going to layer it on a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So it's 1/8 of an inch larger all the way around. So we're going to go ahead and stick that down. Now you have to go slow when you're using seal on embossed cardstock. You don't want to tear it. The embossing weakens the fibers of the cardstock, and it is possible, if you're going too quickly, to tear your embossed cardstock. So you just want to take your time when you're applying your tape. So we're going to stick this down just like that. Okay, now I have this fun ticket die cut. This is the largest die from the die set, cut from that fun star DSP. So that's just going to get glued flat. So we'll just throw a little liquid glue on there and pop that on, a little bit cockeyed. And then our banners are going to go on. So our Hooray and our number 1 are going to go flat. We're going to pop up You're Amazing, sort of in between them. So let's put our Hooray on. And I want to make sure I put this one high enough and the other low enough so that I don't cover up my words when I add my "you're amazing" here. So we'll add this guy. Hello, Xana. How are you? Hope you are well. So we'll pop that on. And then we're going to add a couple of dimensionals. Look, brand new, pristine sheet of dimensionals. That doesn't happen very often. But I was making a lot of swap cards this weekend and I used a lot of dimensionals. So it was time for a new one. So we're going to pop this one on right about there. Okay. Now before we add our embellishments, we're going to go ahead and add this to our card base. So this is a Night of Navy cardstock base. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. So we're just going to fold it in half along our score line and crisp it up. And then we'll add a little bit of tape to the back of our panel here. And we're going to pop this on right about there. Oopsie. Let's open that up because I don't think that was folded perfectly. We will fix that fold in just a minute. There we go. Okay. Now to add our bow, this is just a double bow tied from some of that fan baker's twine in the Poppy Parade. I love the stripe. So we're going to take and add a glue dot to the knot of our bow. I'm going to sort of roll this into a little bit of a glue booger. So we're going to just press that into place, just sort of in the middle of our pennant. And then you can decide which way you want the bow to go. I think I'm going to turn this one this way just because my tails are a little bit longer on this one. I might trim them off just a touch. They're a bit on the long side there. Okay, so there's our bow. Yes, I know it's a man card and I added a bow. Boys can tie bows too. And then we're going to add some of these fun resin stars. So I'm just going to kind of go random here and stick them wherever. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And then we'll maybe add a couple up top. We'll go one here. We'll maybe add one. I don't know. Where are we going to put this guy? Let's put this guy here. And we'll add the red one here. There we go. We've kind of got a cascade of stars there. And that's all there is to it. Now on the inside of this one, I stamped another sentiment. I made this a Father's Day. It could be a congratulations. I think I might actually save this one and give it to my son after he closes his show. He's in a musical this week. Tonight he's at his first dress rehearsal. And the show runs Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He's got 5 shows in 3 days. So he's going to be a busy boy this week, but I think I might save this for him and give it to him on closing night. So there you go. Does not have to be just for sports. So that is number 1 done. Hope you like that one. Super easy. Next one we're going to do is this one. Hi, Jill. How are you? Thanks for sharing. I love this one. Again, all about the banners and tickets and just fun images and bright colors. This one I intended to be a Father's Day card. So let's pull all the bits out here. There's some more stars. I have sheets of these stars everywhere. Oh, this guy's a runaway. We have a runaway star. Let's stick him back on the sheet so we don't lose him. There we go. All right. So I'm starting with this time with a piece of that gorgeous blue wood grain DSP. Love this pattern. 5 1/4 by 4 inches is my piece. And then I have another one of those ticket die cuts. Now this is cut from the pinstripe pattern, but I actually don't want this top little bit. You see how I kind of want it to be straight across the top? So I'm just going to take my paper snips. Actually, you know what? I'll grab my trimmer, because I'm doubting my ability to cut this straight today. So we're just going to pop this in. I'm going to trim right along that sort of stitched line at the top to have a clean edge at the top so that that can kind of hang down like a banner. Okay, now before we do that, we're going to add some twine. So I'm going to grab some of my red and white twine here. And I'm going to add a glue dot on either side on the back of my little label here. And then I'm going to fold my twine in half. I'm going to stick one end into one of the glue dots. I'm going to wrap them around the front and then stick the other end. And again, that's just so that I don't have to wrap it around and waste twine on the back side where nobody sees it. And it's also going to make it easier to tie my bow if I don't have to tie it on something that's lying flat. Okay, so that is ready to get glued down. It's going to go on about 3/4 of an inch over from the left edge. So again, we'll add a little bit of seal here. And I want to make sure I get some right across the top edge here because that's going to go right across the edge of my front panel. So we're going to make sure we have our piece straight on our grid paper. And we're going to go 3 squares in and hopefully line this up at the top. It's very hard to see if it's aligned at the top because I can't look straight down on it. So I'm going to sort of hope and pray that that's straight. Is it good? Yeah, it's not bad. Okay. Okay, so next we are going to add some banners. So this one says Celebrate, this one says All Star. There's only one of each pattern on the DSP, so I just chose another red Poppy Parade one. Doesn't really matter. So we're going to pop this one up with a couple dimensionals. Hi, Debbie. I am good. Thank you. Hope you are well. Hope you all in Canada, anyway, enjoyed your long weekend. Here in Ontario, we had quite the wild weather on Saturday. Lots of damage, lots of wind, lots of just craziness for about a minute. It was the wildest thing I've ever experienced in my life. It was crazy. Anyway, we made out okay. We lost a couple of shingles, but that's about it. So we are considering ourselves lucky. All right, so I have, this one is cut, it's just part of this die cut here. So I just cut the top part of it, okay? We're actually gonna cut off the stitch part. Once again, I'm gonna bring in my trimmer and just cut off that little stitched bit. So then I have a label, a cute little label with beveled corners. So I'm going to stamp my Most Valuable Dad on this one. I love that sentiment. I think I'm gonna use this one for my husband. For Father's Day this year. So we're going to ink this up and we're going to stamp it. Now this is going to go on a little bit crooked. So I'm going to actually have my piece crooked, but my stamp straight. Okay. So that when you're looking at the card, even, oh, I just did it crooked the wrong way, but oh, well, it's okay. Doesn't matter. So that when you look straight at the card, the words are straight. Okay. So this one's actually going to lean this way this time. Doesn't really matter. We're going to also pop this one up. So it's going to go on just about there. So we will add a couple. 3 and 4. When I say couple, I mean 4, right? Dimensionals. So we're going to just tuck that in under our little pennants there. And I just kind of want my Most Valuable Dad to be relatively straight. Okay. Then we're going to add our You're Out of This League. Again, with a dimensional or 2. I just love this little collage of tickets and banners and whatnot. I just think it's so fun. And you can't really do it wrong. Like there's just, you can't do it wrong. So it's really, really easy to play around with this. Okay, now to stick my number 1 on, this is the opposite colors from the last card. These were the negative die, or the die cuts that I had left over from prepping the kits for the last card. So I'm going to add, again, I'm just going to use a little bit of seal because it's easy and tidy and I'm not going to get any ooze. So this little circle is actually from the Beautiful Shapes dies. Okay, it is a little bit bigger than 1 inch and it layers behind this number 1 just about perfectly. Whoopsie, that's not quite centered. See if we can get that centered a bit better. There we go. Okay, so there's my number 1, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add my little die cuts here. And again, because I've got my seal in there, it's just going to stick. I don't have to futz around with liquid glue and make a mess. So there we go. There's our number 1. Now to stick this on, I am just going to add a dimensional in this little space here, right there. And we're just going to plunk this on right about there. And I want to make sure I don't put it so low that I'm covering this up. Let's move this over just a touch. There we go. Perfection. Well, not perfection, but good enough. Good enough for Canada, as my husband always says. There we go. All right. Now that's going to go on a Poppy Parade cardstock base. It's 5.5 by 8.5. Again, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. So same dimensions as the last one. And we'll crisp this out. Yeah, it was certainly something I don't ever want to experience again. I'll tell you that. It was a wild, like just for like 1 minute. It was 1 minute of insane wind. I thought we were going to lose our maple tree in the our front yard, and it would have come down on either my car or my husband's car. We're just watching it and going, oh, who's going to lose their car? But it stayed up. I was really surprised. I was fully expecting it to go. All right, so there is our card. Now we're going to add a little bow with some of our fun baker's twine. So we're just going to make our loops here. Yeah, I know, Louise, there are a lot of parts of Quebec and the Ottawa area that are still without power. A lot of the schools actually in the Ottawa area are closed today because they don't have power. We had no phones at school all day, and they finally came in just right near the end of the day. We finally got our phone service back. So yeah, it was, I mean, I'm thankful. We were without power for a couple hours, nothing really major. So I'd say we made out pretty fortunately on this one. So I've just taken a little glue booger. I'm going to press the knot of my bow into my glue booger. And there we go. We're going to add a couple of stars. Well, no, more than a couple, because I love these little stars. They're so fun. So again, we're going to use our red, yellow, and blue. Love the primary colors in this. Just makes it really easy to design with, and primary colors are always a hit, right? You can't really go wrong with primary colors. So we're gonna add a couple here, and let's do a big red one up here, and we'll do a small yellow one and a small blue one. Come here, little blue. There we go. And then we'll add a couple of maybe small ones over here. We'll go a yellow, a blue, and a red. There we go. So quick and easy to put these cards together. The DSP makes it so simple because all the patterns are in the DSP. There's very little stamping involved. Okay. So again, on the inside of this one, I just added a layer. I stamped the Grand Slam, Hope Your Day's a Grand Slam image in navy, and added the Happy Father's Day in Poppy Parade, and then a few fun little crushed curry stars. So there is number 2. Done and done. We are rolling along here. So the last one, I had to channel my inner Blue Jays fan. So when I was growing up, I was a huge, still am, but not to the same extent as I was when I was in high school, a huge fan of the Toronto Blue Jays. So believe it or not, I lived out in the country, and my parents would let my friend and I take the day off school, bus it all the way into downtown Toronto. We're about an hour and 15 minutes where we lived from downtown Toronto. We would take the bus all the way in there by ourselves, 14, 15-year-old girls, go in and watch the day games, and then do it all back to get back home. It was crazy. I can't imagine letting my 15-year-old son do that now, but it was a totally different time back in the early 80s, and we were huge Jays fans. So we would go, we'd watch batting practice and get autographs, and we were just, yeah, we were obsessed. So this card is sort of an homage to my Blue Jays fan days back in high school. I used the Blue Jays colors, blue, red, and white. So I'm going to show you how to put this one together. Super fun and easy, and perfect for the Jays fan in your life. So if you have a Blue Jays fan, pay attention. All right. Okay. So to start, we have, Montreal. Oh, I'm sorry, Louise. You have to cheer for the Washington, what are they? Whoever the Washington team is now, because that's where Montreal went, right? To Washington. All right. So love this sort of vintage baseball gear pattern. I love it. So this again is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Okay. And then I have some more of that fabulous wood grain. So this is 4 by 2. So it's going to get glued along the left edge of my DSP piece. So we'll just grab a little bit of tape and throw that down. So I'll get that lined up, hopefully relatively straight. Again, it's white on white. It's hard for me to see. There we go. And then we're going to layer that on a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock to give us a little bit of a matte, a little pop of red. So we're going to just add a bit of tape to this. Now look at that. When I flip it over, I can see that that's not perfectly lined up. So I'm going to fix that because it's going to bug me. I'm going to take my snips and clean that up a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to pop that on to our mat. Okay, easy peasy. Next, we have a die cut circle. This is, I think, the second largest plain circle in the Layering Circles dies. And then this is the second largest in the Stylish Shapes dies. Okay, and they layer just beautifully. So I cut some of that sort of baseball stitch pattern. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue here. And we'll center that on there. Okay, so that's going to go on. I want my stitching to kind of go at an angle, up, sort of up and to the left. So that's going to get popped up with a couple of dimensionals. Actually, no, you know what? We're going to wait. We're going to get everything positioned and then we'll pop it all up together. All right, so next I have another one of those large ticket die cuts. I love that die. And I'm going to bring in my Hope Your Day is a Grand Slam stamp. Aw, that's so cute, Debbie. I love that story. Aw, it's so sweet. Well, you gotta hold him to it. When he becomes a famous ball player, remind him of what he said. All right, so here we go. So now you're gonna notice that this is wider than this. So I'm gonna stamp my Grand Slam image towards the top of my little ticket here. And then I'm going to bring in my trimmer and we're gonna trim a little bit of it off. So we're going to actually slide it in. I think I did it at 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to line up my edge at 1.5 inches and trim that off. Okay. And then I still have some room to add a little bit of twine because I felt like there's a big empty space there. So you know me, can't have empty spaces, got to fill them up. So we're going to add a couple of glue dots, one there and one here. And then again, I'm just going to do a single layer of twine this time because I didn't want it to be too bulky on here. So I'm just going to take, oh my goodness, I'm all thumbs here today. I'm going to take one end. And the cool thing is I can kind of hook it in the little cutout there on the ticket so it doesn't slip or slide, it just stays put. And we'll trim that off. Okay, so there we go. We'll add our bow in a minute, but that is going to get layered kind of like that on a diagonal. All right, now before we do that, we're going to add some of these cute little tickets. So this is cut again using those little mini ticket dies. It's like a strip of tear off tickets. So I'm just going to trim these in half. And then I'm going to kind of arrange them at a little bit of an angle. So I'm just going to put a little bit of seal on the end of one. And we're just going to kind of, let's make this one a little shorter, just like that. And then that is going to get stuck to the back of my little banner there, just like that. So we'll add a bit of seal to the back of this and just add our tickets kind of hanging down. Okay, so that's going to go on like that. We're going to go ahead and stick this down, I think, just so that it is ready to go. So it's going to kind of go right about there. Looks good. Okay, so this now is going to go on at a bit of an angle on our card, just like that, and we're going to pop the whole shebang up. So we're going to add some dimensionals here, get this all good to go, and we're going to add a couple minis just to the tickets so that they don't get caught as we're sliding it into the envelope. So we'll get rid of our backings here. And we'll pop this on right about there. Looks good. Okay, and then our last touch is this cute little pinstripe ticket. So we're going to stamp Happy Birthday on this one. Oh, and I just noticed I did stamp in Poppy Parade. Let me grab my Poppy Parade. Here I was thinking I was being special and only using one ink color. See, I was getting ahead of myself. So we're going to use a little bit of Poppy Parade and ink up our, not Happy Father's Day, where's Happy Birthday? There's Happy Birthday. So we're going to ink up our Happy Birthday. And I'm going to stamp it. Now, I'm going to pull this a little closer because I would prefer to get this straight with the lines on this on the DSP. Hopefully, straight-ish. There we go. Oh, it's a little low. That's all right. I can live with it. So we're going to pop this up as well. Now, it's going to kind of overlap. So we're going to put a dimensional up here. Right there. And I'm going to add a little bit of tape because it's going to overlap parts that are already popped. So it's going to kind of go on just like that. Okay. And then the last little touch, we're going to add a little bow. Yes, I added bows to all of my masculine cards. Are you shocked? I'm quite proud of myself, actually, because guys have to tie shoelaces. There are laces and bows in sports, right? Right. So guys can have bows. Hi, Martine. My studio, all it has to do is be painted, but everything, I got my last elements actually last week. The doors that I've been waiting for finally came in stock, so you guys are going to get a tour. Do you want to see it painted or unpainted? That's the question. Can you wait until I paint it this summer, or do you want to see it unpainted? You'll have to tell me what you think. All right, there's our bow. We're gonna add a couple of stars. We've got some red and blue stars. So let's add a couple of these. We'll go 1 and 2 and a little blue one up here, and then let's do the opposite up top. So we'll do a blue, a little blue here, and a little red. There we go. So fun. Now that's going to go on a Night of Navy card base. These are all the same measurements. So 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. So a standard card base. And we'll crisp that. Oh, you want to see it now? Okay. All right. So I will have to find a time, maybe even this Friday. I might do a live on Friday evening and give you a tour of my studio. So just a question of whether or not I can get everything cleaned up and put away. Because right now it's a little bit of a disaster area because I've been working on designing a couple of upcoming classes. So, yeah. Oh, I just realized I gave you the wrong dimensions on this one, guys. See how my board is a little bigger? This is actually a smaller DSP piece. This is 3 3/4 by 5, the DSP, okay? This was 2 by 3 3/4, and then the red piece was 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I will put the correct measurements up in the video description, okay? All right, you can't see it right now. It's a disaster area right now, Krista, but I will work on getting it cleaned up so that I can show you guys around on Friday. How's that sound? Okay, that gives me a goal to get everything tidied up and ready to show on Friday. Okay, so I'll do a live studio tour on Friday at 7. How's that? Okay. All right, everybody. There are our 3 projects today. Now, I just want to quick show you this one. I love this project. I couldn't do it in the video because it was going to take too long. But this is my favorite of all. I did some faux embossing with some die cut tickets on the background of this one. I'll hold it up so you can see it. I love this look, but honestly, it took me forever to glue all these little ticket pieces down, which is why I didn't do it in the video. But love it, and I love all the elements in this one. I just love that sort of faux embossed background on it. So I had to show you, even though it didn't make the cut for the video, I had to show it to you. All right. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for joining me today. Glad you like these. Check out this suite. It really is a fun suite for guy cards. And, you know, not just for the sports fan. So there we go. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your week. I will see you Friday night at 7 for my studio tour. I will show you my revamped studio at 7 o'clock on Friday. Okay? All right, everybody, have a good one. See you next time.